Most of the books we read on the Business and Growth Book Club are very enjoyable, they're informative, they're helpful, and usually there's like one point, maybe a couple of points that really stand out to me that make a difference for me. Every now and then, we get a book that has me thinking on a much deeper level throughout the entire book. These I almost have to slow down for. It's really hard to read these quickly because I want so much to learn from them. We're just finishing up Going on Offense by Behnam Tabrizi, and this is one of those books. This is a book that will elevate your thinking. It will teach you how to do perpetual innovation. How does a company, for instance, like Amazon or Netflix, come in, innovate to the point that they take over the industry? And they don't just rise to the top, they stay there. And they do it with something called perpetual innovation. It's not one great thing they did and, oh, look at us, let's pat ourselves on the back and move on. No, they continually innovate. They continue to solve problems and sometimes create solutions we didn't even know we needed. That's what we need to learn to do with our own businesses. But it's not the kind of thing you can just learn by reading the majority of books that are out there, because most leaders honestly don't know how to do it. It takes someone like Dr. Tabrizi to figure that out for us. He is a guy he's actually quite a big deal. He is a professor, a corporate consultant, and his specialty is corporate transformation. He doesn't just come up with ideas and go experiment and say, oh, look, I found a solution. No, he has a deep question. So if this is going on, what's the gap? I figured out this already. What's the gap? What's the new question? He goes and does studies, collects stories. And then when you're reading this book, you're getting everything he learned and you're getting all the data to back it up. That is so interesting. And it makes for something that it probably could serve as a textbook in a college course. But here's the deal. When I say the word textbook, you're probably thinking, boring. No, this is not boring. It'll light up light bulbs for you. It will have you thinking. You will feel good about how you're approaching your business when you apply what he says. So it really got me thinking about my own business. It unlocked a few ideas for me and helped me to take some of the best practices we know about. Like, for instance, it's good to have a mission or vision for your company. That's great, but how do you apply that to the business? You're going to learn the answer in this book. So and interestingly, as deep and as complex as this topic is, he breaks it down in a way to where it's totally accessible. So I'm looking at the contents page here. You've got 3 parts to this book. The first, and each of these is focused on a quality you need as a leader who can initiate innovation and stay fresh and keep your business moving forward. The first is generous. The second is ferocious. I love that word. The third is courageous. Now, again, none of this is breakthrough. You're like, yeah, okay, fine. That seems intuitive, right? That I need to have those qualities. But when you read the book, and you see the stories he tells, and these are not the same stories I hear every time I go look at a blog. These are interesting, unique stories. For instance, let me get to one of them. Actually, there are so many times when we need to pace ourselves. We need to control the rate of growth. If you grow too fast, you can actually hurt your business. If you grow too slow, you're missing opportunity. So how do you find that pace? That's one of the things he talks about. But listen to this story that he tells. He says the inspiration for basically pacing yourself is soccer player Lionel Messi. an Argentinian currently playing for a French team. And he talks about how other people, other players, burn themselves out on the game. But he is so strategic and so good at pacing himself that he can actually turn it on the second he needs to. He says he was moving slowly so he could move fast at the right time. And it's stories like that and little points like that. Move slowly so I can move quickly at the right time. Just take all these stories, soak them up, start applying them to what you're doing, and start looking at what you're doing and compare it to the things he's going to teach you in this book. This is a good read. This one was written to share some deep ideas and to teach us how to take our business to the next level. How can we imitate or get the same business results as Amazon, even if we don't become the next Amazon? How can we adopt some of those same plays, the same mindsets and strategies that will help us grow our business? That's what you're going to get in this book. And I really love it for that reason. This is one that I may actually have to come back and read again down the road because it's one of those. Right now, you're going to get a few key takeaways from this book. You're going to say, this is what I need to do. I'm going to apply this to my business and it's going to be great. But then once you've done that and you're like, okay, now what's my next play? I'm struggling with this now. That's when you're going to pick up this book again. It is definitely one that you need to keep nearby. You're going to return to it frequently, and it'll probably be one that you think you've gleaned everything and you go back and read it again, and there's something on a deeper level that you didn't pick up and you need it. That's how I see this book. It will definitely become a textbook at major league universities. I mean, it's that quality. But what I love is for you and me, casual readers, people who just want to learn and up level and improve, it's accessible to us. We don't need a college professor to teach this to us because a college professor wrote it. This is good reading. I highly recommend it. And if you haven't already, join the book club because we are reading books like this all the time. I am careful about selecting books that I believe will help us up level as leaders, as business owners, as professionals. This is how we learn. And the idea is that we can bring the professor home with us, have a nice chat through the book. And of course, if you want to be part of the community, join me there too. Link is in the comments to get involved.